Right now, winter blast. A major storm causes a mess on the roads and bitter cold temps are settling in behind it. We have live team coverage this morning. Plus, the government shutdown now enters its 5th week, how it's affecting our state and country this weekend. And thousands of women are expected to take the streets across the country today for what's become an annual tradition. We'll preview Madison's Women's March happening later this morning.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, happy Saturday, and thank you for joining us on this January 19th. I'm Josh Breiter. Well, the biggest snow of the year fell overnight, making for a mess outside. We have live team coverage of this winter blast this morning. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is tracking the latest forecast, and meteorologist Chris Reese is along the Beltline in Madison with the current road conditions. Let's start with Gary on the backyard patio. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning. Skies have actually cleared out overhead. The snow has ended, although you still see a few flakes around. A lot of that is just blowing snow. We're kind of sheltered here in the backyard area of the News 3 backyard, but you can hear the wind blowing behind me, so I know there is some blowing and drifting of the snow going on. Let's start out by taking a look at Doppler track. You can see the snow pretty rapidly ending from west to east. Still continues over far southeastern Wisconsin, where some lake effect snow bands could bring additional snow accumulations from Milwaukee southward into Racine and Kenosha counties. But you can see, other than a half-mile visibility at Mitchell Field, Milwaukee, to the west of Madison, visibilities at or above 10 miles, indicating a few flurries, if anything, falling from the sky. We still have a winter storm warning in effect until 9 a.m. for Dane County and areas of the south and west. Winter weather advisory north of Dane County. That'll probably be allowed to expire. To the east of Madison, though, those advisories and warnings continue until noon. Now, as we check out first alert traffic, we're seeing some minor delays from time to time, especially along the Beltline and also along I-39, 90, 94. At this point, nothing major because people are heeding the advice of officials and staying off the roads, but the plows are out there. And there is some blowing and drifting snow. Seeing just some scattered slippery spots and slowdowns on I-39, 90 down toward Beloit. A few more on I-43 over toward the Lake Geneva area. And then to the north of Madison, things are starting to improve a little more quickly because the snow has ended there. I-39, 90 and 94 heading up to the Dells or into central Wisconsin. Some slippery spots. The plows are working on the roads there, and hopefully conditions will improve. But for more on the roads, we'll head over to Chris Reese, and he's live on location to show us what's going on the roads right now.
Still have a lot of roads that are snow covered, but the belt line behind me now certainly starting to move. We are clearing some of that snow off the belt line. The parking lot that we're in is being plowed as we speak, so we have a lot of people who are plowing that as well. This road, though, is Frontage Road. That is right behind me. Frontage Road still does have a lot of snow on it, so a lot of those side streets are still going to be covered with snow, and that means anywhere you're going this morning, you are going to need to prepare for extra time to get you towards your destination, because we are still going to see a lot of that snow on the roads before it is cleared. Also, if you have any flights, there are a lot of flight cancellations and delays out of Dane County Regional Airport this morning, so you do want to make sure that you at least check your flight status if you are going to be traveling, and at least plan for some extra time getting to the airport. But with the snow ending, as Gary said, we'll see some blowing and drifting throughout the morning, but we should see improvements in road conditions very soon.
All right, that is Chris Reese reporting live. Chris, thank you. Both Gary and Chris will be with us all morning long. We'll keep you updated on any road conditions. And if the plans depend on the weather this weekend, you can get our accurate 12-hour and 10-day forecasts and up-to-the-minute traffic information on the go. Just download our free Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. We're approaching the 1-month mark of the longest shutdown in American history. President Trump will be making what he calls a major announcement this afternoon about the southern border wall and the government shutdown, which is now in its 29th day. While 800,000 federal workers are going without a paycheck during the shutdown, dozens of lawmakers, including 2 from Wisconsin, are joining them. So far, at least 71 members of Congress say they'll turn down their paychecks or donate them to charity. 13 senators and 58 representatives have made that pledge, including Senator Ron Johnson, who's donating his check to the Boys and Girls Club of Madison, and Representative Mike Gallagher. Members from both parties have decided to forego pay while the shutdown continues. Meanwhile, Wisconsin's Department of Health Services is ensuring families who rely on food share benefits that the program will continue into February. That includes people in the Women, Infant, and Children program, Emergency Food Assistance, and Commodity Supplemental Food program. The department also says it's keeping grocery stores and other food retailers up to date on funding while that shutdown continues. Workers at Wisconsin's only federal prison say they are fed up, asking the public to call Congress and urge them to end the government shutdown. All of the federal employees at the Oxford facility have been without pay since December 22nd, with no idea when they might see a paycheck again. Tim Weigut and Mel Klitsky are among those workers.
Right now, I'm surviving, but if I miss another paycheck, I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
But when you got worries at home, wondering how you're going to pay for bills, take care of your family, it's only human that transfers when you come inside working in these walls.
Both say the government has provided them with no way to access their earned income. Tim says he's had to answer to creditors that don't even know the shutdown is happening. New data shows more than 1,000 Wisconsinites who earn a low income could face eviction if the shutdown continues through next month. WPR reports a national advocacy group estimates nearly 50 rent assistance contracts from the Federal Housing Department will expire by the end of February. Landlords face mounting pressure to pay their mortgage as the shutdown continues, and that means a higher risk of eviction for tenants who can't make rent. The USDA, which is also impacted by the shutdown, helps families living in about 5,700 rural Wisconsin households with their rent. We are now just months away from the general election to narrow the field of candidates hoping to upset Mayor Paul Soglin, and the latest reports show it's a very pricey race. The State Journal reports the 6 candidates have raised a total of $333,000 so far from July 1st to December 31st. Compare that to the 2015 race for mayor, when 5 candidates raised a total of $90,000 at this point in the race. Alder Mo Cheeks currently leads the contenders in fundraising, already raising over $100,000. Raj Shukla followed with just over $89,000, followed by current mayor Paul Soglin in third, raising around $76,000. The general election is set for April 2nd. New this morning, millions of women across the country are expected to take to the streets for the 3rd annual Women's March, including Madison. The march is just a couple days shy of the 2-year anniversary of the first ever march, held the day after President Trump's inauguration. This is video from 2017 in Madison. This year's march is being called the Women's Wave, as organizers hope to speak out against a lack of representation in government. The Madison March starts at 10 this morning on the State Street steps of the Capitol. This morning, we're hearing from the Douglas County dispatcher who received the 911 call that Jamie Kloss had escaped. Amy Pullen recalls what it was like realizing that after weeks of searching, Jamie was found alive.
You know, to be honest with you, there's so many things that happened that day, and I haven't really even sat down and listened to the entire call. I just remember hearing Jamie Kloss, and that's when it took me a couple of seconds to realize what she had said. And I remember asking her, you know, have you seen this girl's picture? I wanted to make sure that she knew, or that this was real. And she said, I'm 100% sure that this is her.
The suspect in this case, 21-year-old Jake Patterson, is being held on a $5 million bond in the Polk County Jail. Now on to the big game this weekend, as second-ranked Michigan is in town for an 11 o'clock tip-off against the Badgers. The Wolverines are just one of 2 teams in the country that are currently undefeated. The other one is Virginia. The squad has won 31 of its last 32 games, coming off of a 20-point win over Northwestern, in which 4 players were in double-digit scoring, and the team as a whole made 11 three-pointers. The Badgers are coming off of a loss at Maryland. You can watch the game on ESPN. All right, calling all beer and cheese lovers, the 10th annual Isthmus Beer and Cheese Festival is happening today. But organizers want to make sure everyone gets home safely. The fest is at the Alliant Energy Center, where more than 100 brewers and a dozen cheesemakers will be offering samples from noon to 6 today. To make sure everyone gets home safe after an afternoon of fun, they're offering a 20% off promo code through Lyft for people going to and from that fest. General admission tickets for the event are limited but are still available for $50. Then Restaurant Week kicks off tomorrow. It's become one of Madison's most popular culinary traditions, giving you the chance to try out some of the finest local food at a fixed cost. This winter, there's a new restaurant joining the list of participants. The Tin Fox is a contemporary American restaurant that opened on Monroe Street last May. For their first 6 months open, they dealt with road construction. Executive Chef Justice Neal said they've been excited to see the traffic pick up since then and hopes Restaurant Week will bring in a packed crowd. Neal says the Tin Fox has a family-owned feel where you can find him, his sisters, and his parents working all week long.
I like to think we're probably one of the most friendly restaurants in the city. We like to bring that family vibe, whether you're a part of our family or you're just coming in to dine, you know. This is our table and we want it to be yours too.
This right here is the veal loin, served with purple potatoes, squash, and Brussels sprouts. And another item on the menu is salmon served with fingerling potatoes, watercress, and sun-dried tomato jam. Yummy, that looks great. If you'd like to see what else is on the Tin Fox's restaurant menu or the other restaurants taking part, you can find everything you need to know on channel3000.com. Just click on the Madison Magazine tab. Again, Restaurant Week starts tomorrow, and we'll have another preview in the next half hour of News 3 this morning. 8:10 this morning, and we've been tracking it all week, and it seems like winter finally arrived. Let's take another live look outside this Saturday morning. A very snowy one out there, but you can see some peaks of sunshine already for us. Gary and Chris are tracking it all. Coming up, we'll get an update when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues.
Well, the snow has ended in the News 3 backyard. Skies have actually cleared out very nicely. The sun is shining. There are flakes of snow flying through the air, but that is blowing snow, and the winds have really started to pick up now that the snow has ended and the sun has come up. And we have alert days in the forecast for today and for tomorrow. Now, the snow will pretty much be over with in the next hour for our far eastern viewers. Otherwise, the blowing and drifting snow will continue for much of the day, and that'll keep wind chills near zero for most of the afternoon. Now, tonight, low temperatures will be near zero with wind chills down to 10 to 20 below zero, and high temperatures tomorrow will only be in the lower teens. Winter storm warning is in effect until 9 a.m. for Dane County and areas to the south and west. Winter weather advisories north of Dane County, and then east of Dane County, winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings continue until noon for southeastern Wisconsin and also to the south across northern Illinois. On Doppler track, you can see that snow ending very quickly from west to east. Again, skies have cleared out pretty nicely here in Madison, and to the west, really nothing upstream. So all the heavier snow now out over the southern portion of Lake Michigan. There could be some heavier lake effect snow bands near the Lake Michigan shoreline from Milwaukee southward into Racine and Kenosha counties. In fact, Mitchell Airport in Milwaukee reporting a half-mile visibility right now and moderate snow, but the visibility has improved to 8 miles in Madison, and most of the major reporting stations to our north and west reporting visibilities at or above 10 miles. And you can see the sun shining on the downtown Madison Edgewater Skycam, but there are flakes of snow in the air which are blowing around. The temperatures dropped off to 8 degrees. Winds are out of the north at 17 miles per hour. That drops the wind chill to 10 below zero. Actual temperatures are in the teens below zero across northern Minnesota. In fact, 20s below zero just off the map to the north. And wind chills right now are as cold as almost 30 below zero up toward the Superior area and below zero for much of the state. And get used to that because that'll be the case over the next few days. The main part of the storm now shifting eastward as the snow ends here. Low pressure located near the Ohio River will head eastward and take all the snow with it. High pressure will build in from the west and just give us the cold temperatures over the next couple of days. Right now, the actual air temperature in International Falls, Minnesota, 38 degrees below zero. That is really cold. Fortunately, we're not going to get quite that cold. But again, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories for the next hour or less than an hour for Madison around to the north and south, and advisories and warnings to the east till noon. Temperatures climbing to around 15 by lunchtime, a high this afternoon of 18, but there'll be some blowing and drifting snow. Tonight, a low of 1 with wind chills minus 10 to minus 20 by morning. And tomorrow, maybe a couple of flurries in the afternoon, high temperature at 12. On future track, you can see those temperatures climbing to the upper teens, then dropping off to near zero tonight with wind chills down to 20 below zero. Maybe a few flurries tomorrow afternoon, high temperatures in the lower teens. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, those temperatures remain on the cold side. There's a brief warm up on Tuesday with some accumulating snow possible from Tuesday into Wednesday, and then colder weather arrives again for the end of the week and through the weekend. So, Josh, winter's here to stay.
It looks like it's finally feeling a little bit more like Wisconsin in January, though.
It's just come out here. It's really feeling like it.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Okay.
Well, it has been a busy 18 hours for snowplows, but it's what some drivers have actually been hoping for. Barnes does snow removal in Madison, and one manager says the unusually slow winter we've had so far made it hard on workers hoping to earn a good paycheck. But they used that time to make sure their fleet or plows were prepared.
All of our trucks are fully fueled and serviced, and they've been double and triple checked, and that's the key, is to be prepared. And when you have enough time like we've had this winter, it makes that pretty easy.
Mike Wenkman says just as important as getting the trucks ready is preparing the drivers, who he guesses work shifts of between 12 and 16 hours at a time. Well, we probably don't need to tell you that there will be plenty of fresh powder for all of you skiers and snowboarders hitting the slopes this weekend. And today there's actually an opportunity to help out kids in our area. Tyrol Basin is hosting an evening of skiing and snowboarding, all to support Madison School and Community Recreation. Proceeds will help buy adaptive ski equipment and support scholarships for people with disabilities. That goes from 4 to 9 today. Tickets are $25 for kids and adults. It includes ski or snowboard rentals, a helmet, and a lift ticket. Time right now is 8:17. The Grammys have a new host, and we're getting a first look at the latest superhero film that's sure to be a blockbuster. Plus, there are several shows and movies for you to enjoy on this very snowy and cold January weekend. Time to stay in with Will's 3 Things to Watch on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Well, the time is 8:21. The snow is pretty much over with across our viewing area, but the winds are continuing pretty brisk. The visibilities right now are improving because of the snow, but there could be some local reductions in visibilities because of the blowing snow, and that's why a winter storm warning remains in effect until 9 a.m. for Dane County and areas to the south and west. Winter weather advisories up to the north and to the east. Those advisories and warnings run until noon. Temperatures continue to drop. They're in the single digits, a little closer to 20 near Lake Michigan, but look at the winds. Right now it's sustained around 15 to 20 miles per hour, dropping wind chills down to 10 below zero here in Madison. Don't expect them to improve very much during the day today.
All right, Gary, thank you. In entertainment news right now, 15-time Grammy winner Alicia Keys is taking on a new role as Grammy host. The R&B superstar released a video on her YouTube channel this week showing the moment she got the news and later telling her family and friends. The Grammys air live on February 10th, right here on WISC-TV 3. The crew of the USS Discovery beams back to television in Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. Sonequa Martin Green returns as Commander Michael Burnham, who along with her Starfleet crew seeks to discover new worlds. This season, actress Rebecca Romaine joins the adventure with actor Ethan Peck, who plays a young Spock. You can watch Star Trek Discovery right now on CBS All Access. From one of the most buzzed about movies of an awards show season to the 5th season of a beloved Netflix show, here's our Will Loper with 3 things to watch this weekend.
Maybe it's time to let the old ways down.
New on digital HD this week is A Star is Born.
Do you write songs or anything?
I don't sing my own songs.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable.
Why wouldn't you feel comfortable?
Almost every single person has told me they liked the way I sounded, but that they didn't like the way I look.
I think you're beautiful.
Bradley Cooper directs and stars as a singer who discovers the talents of Allie, played by Lady Gaga, and she skyrockets to fame.
For change.
Here's what we're gonna do. You come sing that song that I love.
No, I can't do that.
Here we go.
It's not funny. Jack.
Look at me.
All you gotta do is trust me. That's all you gotta do.
A Star is Born is available to buy on all digital platforms now.
We have been parent-trapped.
We gotta get out of here.
Premiering this week on Netflix is the 5th season of Grace and Frankie.
You guys see pigs too, right?
Hey, crazy ladies.
You can't be here.
Grace, did you hear something?
Yeah, a broken record.
Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin return as friends and business partners, still figuring out how to live life to the fullest.
I'm getting back to what I used to be. Raw, uncompromising, dangerous.
I am sick and tired of having to bail you out.
Why can't you understand that I'm searching for something?
You can't even find your glasses when they're on top of your head.
All 13 episodes of Grace and Frankie Season 5 are streaming on Netflix now.
Okay, if you're just gonna act like a teenager.
Or maybe I'm acting like a grown woman who is finally living by her own rules.
One, because it seems in a few minutes that you will officially be the only survivor of this train wreck. And 2, because you didn't break one bone. You don't have a scratch on you.
Finally prepare for this weekend's release of Glass by seeing the first film in M. Night Shyamalan's trilogy, Unbreakable.
If there is someone like me in the world, and I'm at one end of the spectrum, couldn't there be someone else, the opposite of me at the other end? Someone who doesn't get sick, who doesn't get hurt like the rest of us.
Bruce Willis stars as a security guard who realizes he may have superhuman powers.
How much did you put on that time?
All of it.
What else can we use?
Unbreakable is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
You know what the scariest thing is? To not know your place in this world. To not know why you're here.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Your favorite friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is back. Tom Holland returns as the web slinger in the first trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home. The superhero sequel also stars Samuel L. Jackson and Jake Gyllenhaal as the villain Mysterio. Spider-Man Far From Home swings into theaters this July. 8:26 this morning, our live team coverage continues next with the latest forecasts and current road conditions as we check back in with both Gary and Chris. And we're gearing up for the start of Restaurant Week in Madison. Just ahead, we're heading to an Isthmus favorite to check out what they'll be serving up starting tomorrow. Thanks for starting your day with us on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for choosing News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 8:30 on this January 19th. I'm Josh Breiter. We have got a lot to get to on this very busy morning. If you haven't left your house yet, the roads are a mess after being covered with heavy snow overnight. We have live team coverage of this winter storm affecting tens of millions of people from here to the East Coast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canelti is waking up with us, tracking the very latest in his forecast, and meteorologist Chris Reese is out live with the current road conditions. Let's start with Gary, who overnighted it at the station to be with us this morning. Good morning, Gary. Thanks for being here.
Sure, no problem. I started with the 5 o'clock newscast yesterday and ending up with the morning this morning. But at least the snow has pretty much quit across southern Wisconsin. There are flakes of snow flying around, but that's blowing snow, and that will continue through much of the day today. Let's start out by taking a look at future track wind chills, and you can see they are going to be pretty cold, generally staying in the single digits and teens below zero. For some reason, our computer, it looks like it's locked up there, but we are looking at temperatures right now that are in the single digits above zero Actual wind chills are running between about 5 and 10 degrees below zero. The snow is pretty much over with, except for far southeastern Wisconsin, where lake effect snows will continue for a little while longer, but the winds are continuing brisk. They will continue to blow and drift the snow around. And while there are no major traffic issues right now, you can see there's the current wind speeds right now running between about 10 and 20 miles per hour. Those are the actual wind chills. So that just gives you an idea how cold it is. And those wind chills are not going to improve very much through the day today. Otherwise, look for temperatures to only climb to around 18 this afternoon as skies become sunny, and it looks like we'll see clear skies for tonight, allowing temperatures to drop to around zero, and wind chills could be as cold as 20 below zero by tomorrow morning. But we'll go over to Chris, who's out on the Beltline checking out the roads there. Things hopefully are improving a little bit, but that blowing snow, I think, Chris, is going to continue to cause problems for the rest of today.
Yeah, blowing snow indeed, but we are starting to at least see some improvements, which is absolutely fantastic news, especially for your Saturday. Here's the belt line behind me. You're starting to see, yeah, there's still a little bit of snow on the belt line, but they are clearing the lanes. Traffic is moving with only really no issues to report. Now, earlier we've spoken with city officials, and they said that there were several slide-offs that they were called to and minor accidents this morning, but even those have begun to clear on up as road crews do continue to catch up. The only caveat they're dealing with is this is a dry, fluffy, powdery snow. So if I pick up some snow here, just watch how that blows away towards the camera there. So that is going to mean that snow that gets cleared, then you have a gust of wind, it's just going to end back up on some of the area roadways. So do be mindful of that going through the day. About the only places where there are problems are side streets. Earlier today, a drive that normally takes even me 20 minutes took over an hour and a half coming in from the west side of Dane County. That's where totals have been a little bit higher so far. So do be mindful of that. If your side streets aren't clear yet, that could lead to some issues, but we are certainly getting better as we go through the morning, guys.
All right. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Gary. If your plans depend on the weather this weekend, get our accurate 12-hour and 10-day forecast and up-to-the-moment traffic information on the go. All you have to do is download our free Channel 3000 First Alert weather and traffic app. In other headlines on this Saturday morning, the longest shutdown in American history has now entered its 5th week. It is day 29 of the stalemate, leaving 800,000 federal workers furloughed or working without pay. A growing number of TSA agents are calling in sick, and national parks across the country are either closed, trashed, or both. Meanwhile, President Trump is preparing to make what he calls a major announcement about the southern border this afternoon. We will, of course, be following that and push any breaking details on the Channel 3000 mobile app. Millions of women across the country are expected to take to the streets for the 3rd annual Women's March, including Madison. The march is just a couple days shy of the 2-year anniversary of the first ever march held the day after President Trump's inauguration. This is video from 2017 of here in Madison. This year's march is being called the Women's Wave as they hope to speak out against the lack of representation in government. The Madison March starts at 10 this morning on the State Street steps of the Capitol. The 10th annual Isthmus Beer and Cheese Festival is today. The fest is at the Alliant Energy Center, where more than 100 brewers and a dozen cheesemakers will be offering samples from noon until 6. To make sure everyone gets home safely after an afternoon of fun, they're offering a 20% off promo code through Lyft for people going to and from the fest. General admission tickets for the event are limited but are still available for $50. Well, Madison has so many local restaurants to choose from, it can be hard to keep tabs on all of the options for date night or even a family night out. It's part of the reason why our friends at Madison Magazine put on Restaurant Week, not once, but twice a year. One of the spots participating this time around is Jardin on East Washington Avenue. Also called Jardine, or the Wisconsin pronunciation Jardin, it's seasonally driven farm to table restaurant tucked away at the Rubinia Courtyard. Jardin grew in popularity in part due to Restaurant Week a couple winters ago. This year, though, there's a new menu, compliments of a new executive chef.
It's a little bit more elevated dining, but it's nothing too fancy, extremely approachable. We've got sandwiches, salads for everybody. There's nobody that will walk in and be intimidated by the menu that doesn't want to be.
This right here is a grass-fed beef strip loin with marrow fries topped in a red wine jus. Yummy. The owners are also excited about the new entertainment district nearby with the Sylvie Music Venue, new parking garage, and hotel. and other restaurants and breweries popping up in that area. So if you'd like to see what else is on the Restaurant Week menu, we have everything you need to know on channel3000.com right now. All you have to do is click on the Madison Magazine tab. Again, Restaurant Week starts tomorrow. I'm excited for that. Right now it's 8:36 this morning. Looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you and the whole family. From a juggling show unique to Madison to music festivals and new plays, your Weekend 608 is coming up only on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Well, the time now 8:39 in the morning. We've got bright sunshine now here on the west side of Madison. You can see the sun shining down on the rooftops of the buildings that are covered in snow from the 7 inches of snow or so that fell here at the station. Most of the snow now out of Wisconsin, other than a few lake effect snow bands running southward from Milwaukee into Racine and Kenosha counties. But across the rest of our viewing area, the snow has pretty much ended. Look for those temperatures that are in the single digits to only slowly climb into the upper teens by late this afternoon. But those winds continue brisk out of the northeast at about 15 to 25 miles per hour, causing some blowing and drifting snow and keeping wind chills in the single digits and teens below zero. I'll stay that way for much of the day today.
All right, Gary, thank you. It is the weekend in the 608, and here's a look at what's going on around Madison. There are many ways to celebrate the life of the late civil rights leader, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Tomorrow morning, several churches are participating in MLK Jesus' Dream, an event with choir music and young speakers. Then on Monday, the official holiday, the MLK Youth Call to Service starts at 12:30 p.m. at the Madison Municipal Building. At 5 p.m. that day, the Overture Center hosts the 34th annual Madison-Dane County Martin Luther King Jr. Coalition Observance. It's weekend number 3 of Music Fests, and if you haven't yet hit your genre sweet spot, hopefully this weekend covers it. The Majestic Theater is hosting Bluegrass Fest tonight. Them Cooley Boys from Eau Claire, Wheelhouse from Madison, Jamrock Grass Band, and Feed the Dog from Appleton will perform. Performances start at 8. The High Noon Saloon is making a special exception this weekend, opening its doors to young kids for a day with Dave Lando. Kids can be part of the show by being asked to sing, dance, act, and just have fun. Lando is a former first grade teacher from Verona whose goal is to help kids understand themselves and the world through fun. There are 2 shows today at 11 and 1. For the next 3 weekends, the Overture will be home to the play Heisenberg. This is a 2-actor show produced by the Forward Theater Company. It's about 2 very different people chasing after a love connection only to find each other. Just go to the Overture's website for a full list of dates and times. And if you're juggling things this weekend, we have just the event for you. In its 47th year, the MadFest Juggling Extravaganza is here. There's open juggling at the Madison Circus Space and workshops and vendors at O'Keefe Middle School. The pros put on their big public performance tonight at the Barrymore Theater. In past years, this show has been sold out. Tickets cost $25 and the show starts at 7. As always, pick up a copy of this month's Madison Magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. Time right now is 8:42. The roads are snow covered this morning and it's a mess with temperatures near the coldest we've seen so far this season, and the snow is expected to stick around because of that. Here's a live look over the Capitol where the sun is shining bright with a reflection off that fresh blanket of snow out there. Gary and Chris are tracking the latest conditions for us coming up right after this. But first, happy birthday to Trevor and all of the other kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Well, the snow has ended here in Madison and much of southern Wisconsin. As far as the snowfall totals are concerned, these are the latest ones that we could find. 7.8 inches in New Glarus and Dodgeville, 7.3 inches here at the WISC-TV studios, 6 inches in Platteville, a little over almost 5 inches in McFarland, and a little over 4 in Columbus. The snowfall amounts turned out to be pretty much what we expected. A little heavier south of Madison, a little bit lighter to the north and east. And we still have alert days in the forecast for blowing and drifting snow as the snow ends for the rest of today, but wind chills will remain near or below zero. Right now here in Madison, they're right around 10 below zero. And by tomorrow morning, wind chills could be from 10 to 20 below zero, with actual air temperatures approaching zero and high temperatures tomorrow only in the lower teens, keeping wind chills below zero. Winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings about to expire for the central part of our viewing area. Areas east of Dane County, winter weather advisory for Dodge County, and a winter storm warning for Jefferson County continues until noon. The southern portion of the warning area across parts of northwestern Illinois and eastern Iowa have just been canceled. As we look at Doppler track, you can see the snow now just confined to areas right along the Lake Michigan shoreline, Racine, Kenosha counties, the southern portion of Milwaukee County, and to the west, things actually pretty nice. Skies are sunny, but the winds are brisk, and that's causing some blowing and drifting snow. So some of these lower visibilities, like the 8-mile visibility in Madison, is not because of falling snow, but it's because of blowing snow with the strong winds and the fluffy light snow that's moving around. Here's a live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Lots of sunshine now, but look at the temperature, only 8 degrees, and you factor in a northerly wind at 17 miles per hour. That drops the wind chill down to 10 below zero. These are low temperatures this morning in the teens below zero up in northern Minnesota. Some areas were even colder than that. Northwestern Wisconsin, single digits. Southern Wisconsin, temperatures have been right around 10 degrees or a little bit lower. These are current temperatures, and they're still well below zero through much of the northern half of Minnesota, even the Twin Cities right now below zero. And you can see those wind chills right now, 10 below zero here in Madison, but as cold as 27 below zero in Superior. As we check out weather track, you can see the main part of the storm starting to shift off to the east. The main area of low pressure located in southern Missouri, that will head off to the east, and that'll take all the snow with it. Our forecast, again, those winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories set to expire for the Madison area. They continue until noon east of Dane County. Temperatures climbing up to maybe around 15 by lunchtime, and look for a high of 18, but blowing and drifting snow will continue. It'll be sunny and very cold. Tonight, look for a low of 1 above zero, with wind chills down to 20 below zero at times, and a high tomorrow of only 12, and maybe a couple of flurries during the day. You can see the sunshine for this afternoon, highs in the upper teens. Look for lows tonight down to around 1 degree here in Madison, with wind chills to 20 below zero. High temperatures tomorrow only in the single digits to the lower teens in that 7 to 10 day forecast. So another chance of snow from late Monday into Tuesday and early Wednesday, and then after that, temperatures turn colder for the end of the week. And as we take a look at Pet Walk for today, this is Bentley in Madison. Bentley is enjoying some inside weather. Sunny skies, 18 degrees by 3 p.m. It's going to be a cold afternoon, I think.
I'm guessing Bentley's going to like that extra covering on him, too, there.
Good idea for Bentley.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Sure.
We have been asking you to share your morning with us, and Bobby emailed us this picture in Greene County. This was before all of that snowfall, of course. A beautiful shot of the sunrise there. So thank you so much for sharing, Bobby. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. Well, be sure to join us tomorrow morning. We'll be celebrating National Cheese Lovers Day with a delicious dish using some of Wisconsin's finest. But first, we'll have another live report from our Chris Reese, who's out in the fresh snow this morning. He's having a heyday. That's coming up after this. But first, the cast of Hamilton isn't throwing away their shot in helping people in hurricane-ravaged Puerto Rico. We go behind the scenes at the show's first week when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns in a moment. Welcome back at 8:53. It has been more than a year since Hurricane Maria ripped through Puerto Rico, but this month there's a new sign of hope. CBS's David Begnott is there.
It's been nearly 16 months since Hurricane Maria left Puerto Rico in ruins. Maria brought this U.S. territory the coverage it's long deserved for issues that run deep here, like corruption and poverty. Lately, violence on the bankrupt island has led to widespread fear. Carmen Yulín Cruz is the mayor of San Juan who has some context.
We literally cannot hide our inequality and the poverty of Puerto Rico behind palm trees and piña coladas.
Puerto Rico's bankruptcy, on top of the costly hurricane recovery, has seen funding slashed across the board, including to a huge source of Puerto Rican pride, the arts.
We've seen cuts of around 95% in our operational budget. The current generation of teenagers who have been through Hurricane Maria, they have probably grown a very thick skin.
Like 13-year-old Sophia LeBoy.
A lot of people lost their homes, lost a lot of things, and that really affected this place.
A gifted young performer, she's been taking after-school singing and dance lessons at the only professional conservatory for music in the Caribbean.
I've been standing.
Life for this 8th grader was altered by Hurricane Maria. Her family was without power for 3 months, and her school was shuttered for weeks. But still, Sophia sees hope.
Oh, something amazing is coming to a place where a lot of stuff was destroyed.
She's talking about Hamilton.
My name is Alexander Hamilton.
The Broadway smash that opened tonight and runs for 3 weeks in San Juan. The creator and star Lin-Manuel Miranda, who has Puerto Rican family ties, expects to raise $15 million to help fund the arts here.
Then came the hurricane, and then the conversation immediately became, how do we help Puerto Rico, and how do we leave it a little better than we found it?
Some tickets will cost up to $5,000, but for 10,000 lucky locals, there'll be only $10. Guess who Sophia got to meet this morning?
Sophia's in 8th grade, and she wants to be?
A singer, and I want to work in Broadway.
Fantastic. Your goal is to make yourself unstoppable.
A favorite son perhaps paving the way for a future star from Puerto Rico. David Begnaud, CBS News, San Juan.
Yeah.
Those shows will be running through the end of the month there in Puerto Rico. And that's just been an incredible story to follow. They've been through a lot.
Yeah, you know, it puts our winter storm in a little bit more perspective. But our storm is winding down. The snow is ending across most of southern Wisconsin. A little bit of snow still in the lakeshore areas of Racine and Kenosha counties. Visibilities are improving. Milwaukee's still reporting a 3/4 mile visibility, but temperatures are in the single digits to around 10 degrees over much of our viewing areas. The skies clear out. Look at the wind chills right now, single digits below zero. And over the next 7 to 10 days, temperature is cold for the weekend, a brief warm up with some snow Tuesday, and then temperatures turn very cold again for the end of the week and into the following weekend and the week beyond that. But Chris Reese is probably trying to stay warm out there in the elements. At least the snow has ended, Chris, but I'm sure it's still blowing around, and I guess you're still feeling the wind a little bit.
Yeah, Gary, we are still feeling the winds. Warming up is an understatement. I've got hand warmers inside of my gloves. It's certainly cold, but now that the snow has come to an end and even the sun has come out, we are now starting to see those crews catch up. So here's a parking lot that was completely snow covered when we first arrived. That is now clear. Yeah, there's still some snow, but on this sidewalk here, those crews were able to put down some salt, and so that's clear. But look at this. This is a large pile of snow that we have. You're going to be seeing a lot of those. In the meantime, road conditions are getting better as well. We are continuing to see improvements. The belt line in front of me and traffic is moving smoothly. The only thing we have to be mindful of is any blowing snow that could end up back on the roads this afternoon, but things are looking up from here.
Hey, Chris Reese reporting live. Chris is in his elements out there. He loves it. All right, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Stay safe if you're heading out and about. Make it a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting at 6:30.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.